Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6.
DPS addresses on-campus violence.
And what to expect during tonight's presidential debate.
Plus, new research released on America's students. All that and more. Citrus TV News starts now.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Hunter Saenz.
And I'm Caroline Strange. Tonight, the university is hosting Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin's mothers for a panel discussion. That's our top story tonight. Tonight, the mothers of Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown are here at SU for a panel titled Injustice for All. Both boys were unarmed at the time of their deaths, which sparked a nationwide debate about gun violence, police brutality, and racism here in the United States.
Our own Citrus TV reporter Nick Papantonis is live outside Goldstein Auditorium. Nick, can you set the scene for us tonight?
Yes, guys, tonight is a big night here at Syracuse University. The mothers of Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown will be appearing on stage together for the first time ever. Leslie McSpadden and Sabrina Fulton both lost their sons to incidents involving white men, and this sparked a national debate in terms of police brutality and racial tensions. They'll be appearing with CNN legal analyst Sunny Hostin, CNN anchor Frederica Whitfield, and National Bar Association President Benjamin Crump. They'll be discussing injustice in a broad sense, and then how acts of violence affect communities. Obviously, we saw the Baltimore riots and everything that led up to that and after it. And this event will be put on by the National Panhellenic Council. It'll be also involving DPS Chief Bobby Maldonado, and it's going to be a big night here at Shine Student Center. I spoke to some of the first people in line. Obviously, you can see them here. They're already starting to line up behind me, and they are excited about the moment and hearing these mothers' stories. Guys?
What do they expect students to take away from this, Nick?
They're hoping students will start a discussion. Mostly it's going to be, obviously, these mothers hearing their stories in person for the first time. It's going to be a big moment. They're actually going to be hosting a discussion afterwards in Shine 304 for any mothers, or for any participants that want to come and reflect upon this moment.
Now, Nick, can you tell us what actions exactly do these moms want out of this conference?
These mothers will be in the panel with these guys. They will be discussing what it's been like to go through this process with their sons, and we'll be also talking about what it means for the country to start the healing process and to reflect on that. And I do want to mention, guys, that if for anybody that doesn't have tickets, it is a sold-out event tonight. We'll be live on OTN as this is going at 7 to 9. It's a 2-hour event live on OTN tonight.
So much, Nick, and be sure to tune into Citrus TV tomorrow night for a full recap of tonight's conference there at Goldstein Auditorium. The Student Association has a little less money than usual to spend during next semester, $100,000 to be exact. SA will be forced to budget their money since its finance board spent more money than expected this fall. Overall, SA's finance board has allocated $685,000 to student organizations for the spring.
And Bird Library is the recipient of a $900,000 grant that will give SU a bigger entrepreneurship program. The program will have training seminars and other resources to allow students to learn about entrepreneurship. Other schools such as Cornell and SUNY Buffalo are also creating similar programs. And the Chief of Department of Public Safety, Bobby Maldonado, released a letter to the Syracuse University community regarding 2 serious crimes occurring on campus. The message came after a letter written by Syracuse student Megan Minier went viral online. In her letter, she called for an explanation for the seeming increase of crime around campus.
Chief Maldonado responded to that letter in a press conference as well as his own letter. In both cases, he addressed open, immediate communication about recent crime cases, precautions to restrict incidents from occurring, security measures for on and off campus living, and more. His response served to reinforce the message that DPS has and will continue to take all precautions necessary to protect Syracuse University students.
So many students have felt that this semester is different and things are changing, and I think that is because the crime is getting closer and closer, and it's not your traditional break-ins, you know, someone's computer got stolen. Even though those are happening still, they're more victimized and more personal.
We actually work hand in hand with the Syracuse Police Department. For every officer we put out, they put out. And that swells our numbers from 8 patrols to as many as 22 patrols. So, you know, what we're hoping to do is to make the community aware, especially our student community, as well as our faculty and staff, that we understand their concerns. It's the exact same concerns that we have.
Now, Caroline, I know that Megan, in that letter to Chancellor Syverud, she expressed her concern for her friends that live on Euclid after these sexual assault cases, and she brought up a good idea that I want to talk about now, is implementing those blue lights that we see all over campus and putting them alongside Euclid in case somebody needs them in their commute.
And that was one of the questions that I actually asked Chief Maldonado, because I was there yesterday when he gave the press conference, and he said part of the problem is those are city streets, so DPS doesn't have the jurisdiction right now to put those blue lights out there. But the Live Safe app that they've been trying to get students to download on their smartphones is just as easy of a way to just tap a button on your phone, and then you can contact DPS or public safety.
So what you're saying is that if people want those blue lights put in a jurisdiction that's not owned and operated by the university, they would have to go through Syracuse City Council.
Yes, they would be. If anybody could do it, it would be the city to put it in.
Well, it's a good thing the app as well. For everybody who doesn't have the app, please be sure to get the app, because it could be a lifesaver. In this case, it could have helped out extraordinarily well. But we'll stay on top of this story and bring you more developments as soon as we get them.
And coming up next on CitrusTV News Live at 6, the death toll rises in Afghanistan.
And the budget bill moves forward in Congress.
Plus, who will be performing at Game 3 of the World Series? We'll have the answer later on CitrusTV News Live at 6.
Syracuse students saw quite a bit of rain today, and temperatures scraping the low 50s. Find out if this poor weather is here to stay after the break.
Welcome to Orange Press Pass.
Orange Press Pass is your ticket inside the Syracuse locker room. Hear from the coaches.
8 and we didn't win 8.
We got some open looks from the perimeter
and players.
Well, I saw pressure coming from the backside.
Get in-depth analysis, reports on site, and more.
Let's go on OPP.
Orange Press Pass, live after every Syracuse game.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
The Lockerbie bombing happened almost 27 years ago this December. The heartache from those we lost in the crash can be felt on campus any time of the year. But this year's Remembrance Scholars are using the service day of Remembrance Week to help the community heal in other ways. Citrus TV's Rob Romano has more.
Students took out their gloves, prepared PB&J sandwiches, and opened their hearts to lives lost inside the Shine Student Center today in honor of Remembrance Week. Remembrance scholar Taylor Henry knows exactly why she's here.
I'm representing Miriam Luby Wolf. She was in the VPA musical theater program, and she was actually my mom's best friend, and I'm named after her, so it's a very special circumstance for me.
The sandwiches prepared by Remembrance scholars and other students were made for the hungry at Syracuse's Samaritan Center on North State Street. Remembrance scholar Lisa Kranz represents Lockerbie victim Shannon Davis.
We can't erase the tragedy that happened, but we are doing great things like community service, help feeding the hungry, and this entire day is a day of service.
Chancellor Syverud was also at the event. The theme for this year's Remembrance Week is Look Back, Act Forward. Kelly Radosky is advisor to the Remembrance Scholars and spoke about what this means.
Looking back, remembering those we lost, remembering the tragedy, and then acting forward and making a difference in our community and the greater world. This is one of the ways we're acting forward, by helping others, giving of our time to help others.
The tables in rooms 304 ABC of Shine were filled with little jelly stains like these. The scholars were in a bit of a rush today, going straight from the Shine Student Center and going way out into the city of Syracuse, where they had to put on a Halloween party event for members of the Northeast Community Center. Reporting for Citrus TV News, I'm Rob Romano.
Thanks, Rob. Insomnia Cookies is also participating in today's Day of Service. The store is donating 10% of every sale to the Ronald McDonald House today in honor of Remembrance Week. Be sure to get out and support them if you can.
The school resource officer who slammed a student to the floor on Monday has been fired. The student was texting in class and refused to give her phone to the teacher. The officer, identified as Deputy Ben Fields, was first suspended without pay. An attorney for the teen said her client did suffer several injuries to her neck and back. And Republican candidates are gearing up for their third debate tonight. In recent polls, Ben Carson has emerged as the favorite, edging out former frontrunner Donald Trump. They'll be joined by 8 other candidates on the stage tonight, including Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, and Jeb Bush. The debate, which will be limited to 2 hours, will air on CNBC from Boulder, Colorado. And tonight, the House approved a bipartisan bill to increase the debt limit in order to avoid a government default. The legislation will now head to the Senate, which reports say is on track to pass it before the Tuesday deadline. The bill contains reforms to strengthen safety net programs such as Social Security and funding for the military. It also calls for approximately $112 billion in additional funding over 2 years.
Investigators say a wave was responsible for capsizing a Canadian whale-watching ship earlier this week. The incident sent 27 people into the water off Vancouver Island, killing 5. 22 other victims were pulled from the water. Investigators say too many passengers were standing on the left side of the boat, causing it to tip when a wave hit. And the death toll continues to rise in Afghanistan and Pakistan after a 7.5 magnitude earthquake shook the region Monday. So far, some 385 people are dead. Nearly 20,000 homes have been destroyed. Tonight, aftershocks are still being felt in the region, the same areas where extreme poverty already exists. And officials in Iran say they will attend peace talks in Vienna about Syria's future. Reports say Russia invited them to the table, which would be Iran's first appearance at such a meeting. This comes after the U.S. announced they would work with Iran if it would help end Syria's civil war. A news report on Iranian TV reportedly said the country's foreign minister will attend the talk alongside several other Iranian representatives. To date, Iran has been Syrian President Assad's closest ally, providing the regime with military support. Now let's head over to Caroline and see what we can expect after the break, coming up on Citrus TV News live at 6.
Thanks, Hunter. Coming up, ICYMI fills you in on all the hot topic news you may be missing.
But first, it was a wet and chilly day outside this afternoon, but is the wet weather here to stay? I'll have the answer for the rest of the week's forecast on the other side of the break.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Well, I don't have to tell you, but it was a miserably rainy day outside. Lindsay, is this rain here to stay for the rest of the week?
Well, Hunter, we'll see a little bit more rain tomorrow, but after that, it should be a little more clear for the rest of the weekend, especially for Halloween. Now, as we look back at today's conditions, it was in the low 50s, and it felt quite a bit colder than that due to the wind chill. Right now, Syracuse is in a wind advisory until 2 a.m. This really does not have effect, but just make sure to have that extra coat and be careful because it could get a little chilly this evening. Now, as we look at Wednesdays of the past, we actually fit right into where we're supposed to be. We're a little lower than average, but, you know, it's beginning to feel a lot like fall, which is always nice to see in the middle, towards the end of October, nearing November. Now, as we look at current temperatures across the region, we can see that Syracuse fits right in, except we are a little chillier than some of our neighbors. We actually saw temperatures in the high 40s with that wind chill I was talking about earlier. Now, as we look at current temperatures across the United States, we can see that still the West Coast and the southeast of the United States are still feeling those nice mid to high 70 temperature climate, while we're starting to feel that beginning temperatures that usually are seeing in November in the high 40s. Now, as we look at current winds, like I mentioned before, Syracuse is currently under wind advisory. So you can see that the wind gusts are stronger in our area, our neck of the woods. So as we look at current surface temperatures, we can see quite a bit of precipitation in our region. So as we take a closer look, we can see that right now we're feeling the precipitations from the remnant of this front that has already moved past. This rain, though, should probably only be throughout the day of today and also early tomorrow morning and throughout the night as well. So to give you some perspective, right now there is quite a bit of precipitation, so make sure if you're leaving your house, make sure to have that umbrella and those rain boots with you because it's going to be a wet one. Now, as we look at tonight's conditions, it's going to be rainy with temperatures in the high 40s, and there'll be pretty heavy showers, so like I said, carry that umbrella. Now, tomorrow we should see some showers early in the morning, but after that it should clear up and we should see temperatures in the high 50s. So that should be really nice to start and kick off your Halloween weekend. So the question on everyone's mind, what will it be like this weekend? Will we be able to go out to our trick or treat and not have to have an umbrella or a jacket? Well, we actually should be in the clear. We should not see that much precipitation throughout the rest of the week, and we'll start to see a little bit more precipitation on Sunday.
Now, you talk about this wind advisory. When we leave here after work tonight, what can we expect as far as wind goes?
You know, it's going to be a little windy, but definitely it's a problem when you're carrying your umbrella and the wind starts to blow it. So I'd recommend a raincoat instead today because the wind will definitely pick up your umbrella and carry it with it.
That's right. Umbrella lives matter too. Thanks, Lindsay. Now, coming up, and now we turn to our In Case You Missed It segment, our ICYMI segment. Here we bring you the latest health, entertainment, and consumer news. Caroline, what's new?
Well, Hunter, the report card is in, and American schools are continuing to slip in reading and math. The 2015 Nations report card says math grades have dropped for 4th and 8th graders over the last 2 years. Reading marks weren't much better. The report card says only 1/3 of 8th graders showed proficient levels of math and reading, and also suggests a gap between achievement levels of Black and white students. And Walgreens is spending more than $9.4 billion to buy another drugstore chain. Rite Aid will be joining the expanding Walgreens umbrella, and experts say the buyout may allow Walgreens to get better deals from drug makers, but don't expect to see any discounts on the shelves. Customers will probably see a number of store closures and fewer brands due to the switch. The New York Mets may have come up short in last night's World Series Game 1, but they're hoping a familiar face will bring them better luck when they go back home for Game 3. Billy Joel spokesman says the Long Island native and Mets fan will lead Citi Field in the national anthem on Friday night. It will be the first World Series game played in Queens since Game 5 of the World Series back in 2000 when the Yankees won their 26th championship. And rumors of a Kardashian-Odom reunion are in the air. Reports say Khloe Kardashian and Lamar Odom filed a petition to dismiss their divorce filing from December of 2013. But don't get too excited yet. Kardashian says in an interview with People that the action was taken so she could make medical decisions on his behalf. The reality star also added that she loves Lamar and that only time will tell what happens with their relationship. Now that does it for this week's ICYMI segment. If you think we missed something, tweet us at CitrusTV News and let us know. Here's Brianna with what's coming up in sports.
Thanks, Caroline. Coming up next, Boeheim gives us a preview of the upcoming basketball season, and I'll bring you the highlights on that crazy World Series opener at Kansas City. Stay tuned.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Men's soccer moved up 3 spots in the NSCAA poll to number 12, their highest ranking this season. The Orange will play their final regular season game in a conference match against Boston College on Friday. The basketball season is upon us. Boeheim gave a preview of what to expect this season at ACC Media Day. Senior guards Trevor Cooney and Michael Benajay used this offseason to improve to bring their team on top early despite not having Boeheim on the sidelines.
He really had to take some shots that were not quality shots, but he had to take them, and I wanted him to take them because he had the best chance. His percentage in the bad shots was better than some of the other guys that were shooting about 17%. So this year I hope he will not have to do that. And he's improved his shooting skills, his ball handling skills, which is obviously why he could be in that position. But I really think he could be one of the most improved players I've ever coached, and he could have a big year this year.
Now, New York Giants defensive end Jason Pierre-Paul joins the team for practice Wednesday morning for the first time this season. Pierre-Paul has not played this season due to a fireworks incident on 4th of July, injuring his right hand. The Giants and Pierre-Paul signed a 1-year contract on Tuesday, and head coach Tom Coughlin expects him to play no earlier than Week 10. To say Game 1 of the World Series was interesting would be an understatement. The opener to the Royals-Mets series came with everything: an inside-the-park homer, a TV blackout, extra innings, making it the longest World Series opener ever at over 5 hours long. NLCS MVP David Murphy and the Mets would face the Royals in Kansas City. Alcides Escobar would lead it off with a drive to left center off the first pitch of Matt Harvey. Yoenis Cespedes attempts to make the play but can't make the catch. Ball ricochets away. Escobar rounds the bases and gets the inside the park home run. 1-0 Royals at the bottom of the first. The Mets would answer back in the top of the fourth. With runners on the corners, Mets' Travis d'Arnaud would hit a shot to third that Moustakas just could not handle. Murphy would run home on the infield single. Now, in the bottom of the fourth inning, there was a blackout for 4 minutes. When the broadcast returned, the announcer's signal was lost, and instead viewers were watching the MLB International broadcast. Viewers did not get the Fox signal until 9:44, 24 minutes later. Now, in the top of the eighth, Flores would chop it off to first, gets past Eric Hosmer. The error would bring Juan Lagares home to take the lead 4-3 Mets. Now, Mets closer Jairus Familia would attempt to bring the Mets home a win, but the Royals' Alex Gordon would crank one to center, and it's a game-tying solo home run, and we're off to extra innings in Kansas City. Now action in the ballpark until the bottom of the 14th inning. Bases loaded for the Royals with nobody out for Hosmer, who lifts a fly ball deep to right. Granderson makes the catch and throws home, but not in time. Escobar scores, then the Royals will take game one. 5-4 is your final score.
All right, well, it was certainly high drama last night, but what can we expect for tonight's game?
Well, the Mets are going to try to even it out. They have Jason DeGrom starting pitching. He's 3-0 this past postseason against Kansas City Royals. Johnny Cueto, and he has not done very well. The last time he pitched was October 19th, and he gave up 8 runs on 6 hits. So,
all right, well, that's not possible in the World Series.
No.
You cannot do that. Brianna, thanks as always. What will you be wearing to class tomorrow? Lindsay has the answer.
And Taco Bell made a promise they can't break.
Stay with us.
Daughter with her reading.
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Now, Lindsay, I've got an early start to my day tomorrow. What's it going to be like when I get up?
Well, when you first get up, there'll be quite a bit of rain, but it should clear up by the afternoon, so you don't have to have that umbrella with you all day.
Okay, thanks so much, Lindsay. And attention Taco Bell lovers, the fast food chain announced it would be giving away free AM Crunch Wraps if a base was stolen during a World Series game 1 or 2.
And a stolen base, we have Kansas City Royals player Lorenzo Cain stole a base in the 6th inning last night.
And that means you can pick up your favorite Crunch Wrap from your local Taco Bell November 5th between 7 and 11 a.m.
Well, baseball and Taco Bell sounds like a grand slam to me.
If you love Taco Bell, there you go.
That's right.
That's all the time we have for today. I'm Caroline Strange. Make sure to check us out online at CitrusTVnews.net and tune in tomorrow for Max and Jess.
And I'm Hunter Saenz. From all of us here at Citrus TV News, have a great rest of your night, Syracuse.